society, totally under control, no free will thinking, no independence. That's what they're trying to create.
In this music industry, what they're doing is taking control and actually programming the population to accept the bio and neuro chip. Most people don't know about the neurochip, but there is a neurochip, and that will control your brain. And the biochip is the biometric implant for the palm. But the neurochip, I believe, is implanted into the forehead of the human. Am I wrong about this?
No, you're correct, but there's a lot more. There's a lot of other implants that they've used over the decades. Quite honestly, they're at a technology now where the implants are really like a backup system because they can control you remotely whether you have implants or not, simply by sending carrier waves that mimic the pattern of your brain waves, so that literally there's another pattern overlaying your brain wave. So the person thinks it's their own thought when in fact it's coming externally to them. I was wondering where I was getting some of them thoughts. Yeah, exactly.
You know, and just out of nowhere. And I was like, what about when you're just sitting in your house and all of a sudden you get a compression feeling in your ear in a really high tone pitch?
That could be an ELF pulse or microwave pulse. Sometimes you get the ringing in your ears. Sometimes you get a headache. Sometimes you could get heart palpitations. You can be cold. You could get hot. It depends on the frequency they use and the intensity.
All right. Now, a lot of that's used through microwave technology set up through across the nation on telephone poles and so forth, correct?
That's correct. And ingeniously, for example, in Arizona, I saw them disguising these microwave towers by making it look like a designer object in front of a supermarket or a mall, or they make it into a pole for a bird's nest, but in fact it's masking something else.
In most major cities around the world, they have some kind of obelisk in their city, in the central part of the city, which also helps to control and send out the ELF signal. So it's everywhere.
That's right. Every city, every major city will be some kind of huge tower with signal sending out. And of course, you mentioned Disney earlier. All the castles and all the Disney locations are transmitting from those locations.
All right. Well, we are going to go to a break right here. Got to pay some bills. You are listening to The Truth Behind the Music with the Madman CJ.
Mixmaster Clint here.
On American Freedom Radio, we have Janet and Stewart Swerdlow, and we will be back right after these messages. Welcome back, guys. You are live on the air again with us.
Okay.
Hi there.
All right, Janet. Now we know a little bit about Stewart, so we want to go ahead and get a little background on you. Want to let our listeners know about who you are, how you got into this kind of stuff, and where you're at today.
Well, I actually was raised with kind of an open family, and so all of my inner abilities were never shut down as they are with most people. So I was always encouraged to talk about what I saw on all levels and felt on all levels and knew on all levels. And in the midst of all of that, I had many, many strange experiences at night, which I didn't really understand what they were about until I met Stewart about 15 years ago. So I was smart enough, however, at the time that I made notes of all my strange experiences so I could go back and start making sense out of what was happening to me, because I knew that they were not correct and I was not asleep. I was awake, but I didn't know what was happening, who was pulling me out, where I was going, what I was doing. It was a very confusing time. And as I got older and was able to make contact with Stewart and understand a little bit more, then I realized the extensiveness of my own mind control and programming. But it is quite a shock when you first wake up to all of this.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. You're like, whoa! I didn't even know that was happening. Right. Well, hey guys, we do have a caller, and I want to go ahead and go live with this caller. We are live on the air with 563. Area code 563. All right, you're live on the air with us. Hello. All right, guess that is. We're not going to go live with them. All right. So, anyways, maybe go ahead and finish up, Janet, what you were speaking of there.
Well, a lot of it, which Stewart hasn't had a chance to go into, but a lot of mind control has to do with your genetics and what the Illuminati can use you for. And so in my own particular case, I have a very interesting mix of genetics. I have Cherokee Indian on both sides, which is indigenous peoples, and there's a lot of inherent cellular genetic information that I have access through that way. I also have a lot of Irish-Scottish genetics in me, which is very easily mind-controlled and is descendant from the Lyrae star system, as well as the Cherokee Indians are. And I also have the Magdalene frequency through my Waldensian side, which comes down through the marriage of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, which a lot of people don't understand exactly that aspect of it, but Stewart wrote extensively about that in The Blue Blood. And so not only did I have strange experiences, my father had strange experience, his father had strange experience, my great-uncles had strange experiences. So all along the way, my entire family has had mind control and programming going on. In order to take what they needed from us, we had to be under their control.
Wow. That's just amazing. And just, so, I mean, the whole time you guys are living experience of this, so it's not just like you've done a bunch of research on it. You are actually being controlled. Well, yeah. I mean, we all are, but at that point, but I mean...
Well, the interesting thing is, is that the reason Stewart and I do what we do is because of all the strangeness that has happened to us in our life, and we wanted to find out what it was, and once we found out what it was, how to get out of it. And so that's what we teach people, is to try and wake them up. I mean, a lot of times people assume their experiences are normal, or they know they're not normal, but they don't know where to go because conventional psychology and psychotherapy does not address mind control and programming. In fact, we have a large part of our clientele who are professionals with people that they don't know what to do with because it's not taught in the colleges and the universities what to do with people who are having these types of experiences. So you go out on the street, or you're in your doctor's office, or all the people that you see, as Stewart mentioned, 5 to 10% are having these very abnormal experiences, most of them at night, and they don't know what they are and how to stop them. But they're out there. So your professionals, it's not a bunch of strange cookie people sitting alongside of the roads who are homeless and nothing to do with themselves, or sit locked up in mental institutions. It's happening right now to maybe your next door neighbor or the professional that you use down the road. It happens all the time.
Yeah, and it's a sad thing that it's happening that frequent to people worldwide, not just here in America. But it makes you wonder too on how they get a lot of these bills passed in our government, and how they're trampling over the Constitution. And then you got to go back and look at if they've got us all programmed to the T of how they want us, then they just flip a switch and next thing you know, everybody's against the Constitution and everybody that's for it's a terrorist.
Absolutely. It's much simpler, as you're stating, than people realize because we are so much in the palm of their hand as a society and as a global community.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. I mean, it blows my mind how much it is. Let's get into, by the way, I just wanted to say, if that caller that called in, if you'd like to call back, the number is 512-879-3805, 512-879-3805. If you have any questions for Janet and Stewart about mind control, or maybe something is happening to you that's really strange, and you might want to know what it is, and you have the time right now to get a hold of two experts that have living experience of this mind control and can help you out a lot. So by all means, if you're out there and you want to talk to Janet and Stewart, give us a call, 512-879-3805. All right, now I want to get back into a little bit about this music stuff. I hear this Rain Man, and I know we sent a bunch of stuff over to you guys and didn't have really time to get in the grits of it, but maybe is that a trigger word, or is it, because they all use it, country music, hip-hop, pop, rock and roll, heavy rock, I don't care what it is, they all use this name, Rain Man, all these artists do. And I'm just wondering if it's pre-written lyrics by witchcraft people or the Illuminati, and they use Wicca. Wicca and the Illuminati work hand in hand. So is it Wicca writing the song?